Hello and welcome. So, what is your thoughts on sacred health? I guess that is, um, sorry, I just got a notification from Facebook. So, we are going to be talking about the Code of Principles for Sacred Health. And there's a poll in this live that I'd love to hear your thoughts on. There are 12 principles, and we're going to go through them one at a time. So that we'll hopefully have shorter videos. That'll be helpful. A warm hello to you listening today, either live or on the replay. If we've not yet met, I'm Laurie Morse, a 30-year practitioner of Chinese medicine and founder and director of the Sacred Health Academy, where we teach women how to activate and reclaim her birthright of sacred health so that she can live with energy and ease and vitality and a sense of peace and purpose, which is possible because it's coded in our cells. And when we align with these principles of sacred health, they actually, our cells respond in kind by releasing that which is higher health and wholeness. And so let's just talk about the very first prime directive in our time together today. Again, there are 12, and we'll go through them one at a time. The first prime directive uh, as the code of principle for sacred healing is that the universe, the prime directive for the universe, is a return to love. So you may have heard, maybe you haven't. I know I've said it in multiple different occasions, but the entire fabric of the universe is actually, the architecture of it is the energy of love. Now, it doesn't always mean that we're aligned with that or facing that. It's our free will to turn away from that and create other experiences that aren't aligned with love. But what's happening now in our collective consciousness, in this experiment of being human beings, being a human, or how do they say that? We're spiritual beings having a human experience on this beloved planet Earth. We're now ready. The time is now. You are one who is ready. I am one who is ready. If you're anywhere near this kind of a conversation, then it is time for you to return to love. And we do that one breath at a time, one day at a time, one situation and experience at a time. It doesn't need to be dramatic or filled with suffering and pain. In fact, love can help us return the particles of life to love with ease and grace. So what I invite you to do is to give yourself full permission to allow this truth that all of life is made of love, including every cell of our being, every thought and emotion that we have, even though it might be, tangled up in other energy that isn't love. It's untangleable, all of that energy, and it can be aligned with love. So love can dissolve and dissipate that which is not it, that which is not love, right? So we invite and we give ourselves permission for this truth that love permeates every particle of life, to awaken our mind, to enliven and open our heart, and to enlighten. That means to fill with light every cell in our being. And so that's what I'm asking you to give yourself permission to do. I have given myself permission to do that. I do this every morning. I set this up for myself so that I can remember to do it more often throughout the day, so that there are shorter and shorter periods of time where I forget this truth, right? So I'm remembering this truth more and more throughout the day. And one thing to remember is that light, which is encoded, it's part of every cell of our being, it carries with it from our higher self. Well, let me say it the other way around. Our higher self it allows for this light to flow into us, and it carries with it these codes for awakening our mind, heart, and body to the fact that we are actually an instrument or a vessel of love. I know that the human mind kind of goes on tilt when we talk about these kinds of concepts. And all I can tell you is that in my own experience, if you let the mind do its gymnastics around not getting any part of this because of what it sees to be true in its own experience and in the outer world, and that's not, that's all happening, that's true, but it isn't the whole truth, right? And so we're giving ourselves permission to expand our awareness, to allow more of the whole truth to wash through us, kind of like a waterfall. Let this light that carries these codes of truth wash through you like a waterfall. This is what I do. I invite it in through the top of my head, and I imagine and see it now. I couldn't see it in the beginning, but with practice, I was able to see it. I let this light wash through me, and it teaches me. It teaches my mind to calm and open. It teaches my heart to enliven and open. And it teaches my cells to be filled with light so that I have access to a level of health that is not really available in medications or even supplements. And I'm a supplement and herb girl, right? So it's another dimension beyond that, if you will. And if the things I'm talking about are like, wow, I don't make any sense to you, I get it. But I just want you to just be willing to consider, especially if anything I've said, even if it's just a couple of words of what I've said, have any sort of resonance in your heart. So fill the poll out, get clear about where you are with this idea of sacred health being accessible by each and every one of us by innate birthright, right? Like it was coded into us as our birthright. And whether it's awakened or not in you is less important than whether or not you're willing to contemplate that it's possible for you, and then go about doing the things that activate it and awaken it and cause an enlivening of this health and wholeness in your system, in your mind, body, and cells. So let us know where you stand, what your perspective is and what your perceptions are on all this with the poll. This is the first time I've done a poll, so I'm hoping that it actually shows up. If it doesn't, I'll come back and I'll try to make it be in the comments or something like that. But let me know where you live with this concept that sacred health is your birthright, that there are principles of sacred health. The first one being that the prime directive of the universe is a return to love. And you and I are part of the universe. We're a microcosm of the macrocosm that is the universe. Thus, we are all returning to love. And so the conversations are, what does that mean? How do I do that? And that's one of my favorite conversations. And it's what I'm devoted to in myself and those who are also wanting to have that be the experience that they have in their life, in this lifetime. So thank you for your attention and your time. I look forward to your input on the poll. And next week we will talk about the second principle of sacred healing.